Hello, good morning. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die. To sleep. No more. How is it? How do you like it? Of course, Hamlet is a longer play, 5 hours in Japanese and 3 or 4 hours even in English. And people tend to say, to be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of trouble and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more. Yes, that's fine and that's cool, but when you or if you are learning or thinking this words, okay, maybe he has been thinking to be or not to be. So maybe you can say that in a short time. To be or not to be, that is the question. Okay, but maybe to be... Maybe he thinks to be or not to be. That is the question. And he thinks, what is to be? And on what foundation he can say the judgment, which is better. He thinks the judgment is in the mind. And the foundation is whether it is noble or not. His living base, his acting foundation is not his happiness, not his wealth, not his health, but his nobility, whether he is noble or not. So all his action, he judges on the basis of whether it is noble to do so or not. So, he goes to be or not to be. That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind. Whether it is nobler in the mind. Which is nobler in the mind? To suffer? What do you suffer? To suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. That is the content of to be, as he said. And not to be is like this. To take arms against the sea of troubles and by opposing end them. Right? So he says to be or not to be. That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind. A, to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. B, or to take arms against the sea of troubles and by opposing end them. And this imagination, he makes it into shorter word, to die. This word, die, has been triggered by him saying, end them. So the end is his end as well. He says end them, but it includes about my English, it includes his end as well. So he says to die. And this word to die connects. It's just like word association game. He suddenly thinks, oh, that's sleeping, all right. So the whole thing, the notion or the way of thinking has been triggered by the word he had said, to be or not to be. That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die. To sleep. No more. That is how anything, not only just Shakespeare, but in any great script, the mind, the character's mind is absolutely linked by what he or she said just before. So remember this when you make writing a script, or when you putting it onto the act on stage, in films, or you direct. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. And don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to subscribe to Elegant Niwa channel. Thank you.